Well, everyone, George Rambling Man here. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Halloween. It's Saturday, October the 31st. Beautiful day here in North Georgia. Clear skies, 65 degrees. Couldn't be much better. This is the first time I've been out on my bike in a couple of weeks. Ever since Stoney and I got back from our trip, actually, which was the first weekend of October. I rode up to North Wilkesboro, North Carolina on Thursday, I think October the 1st. Met Stoney, we had dinner, then Friday we rode up to Tazewell, Virginia. Did the Back of the Dragon. I'll give you a few comments on our Back of the Dragon ride here in a few minutes. For those of you who might have already seen Stoney's video, you probably know what most of my comments are going to be about, but I'll throw in a few extras. Then we rode on down to Mountain City, Tennessee, through Damascus, Virginia, and to Boone, North Carolina, back to Morgan over the next couple of days, and we just had a really nice nice time. It's always good to see Stoney every year and get to ride. The last couple of years we've picked out a weekend to ride either in the spring or the fall and rode the Blue Ridge Parkway or areas like that around North Carolina and Tennessee and Virginia, and it's always a good time. Stoney and I are good friends. I count him as one of my closest motorcycle friends, and just friends in general, really. He and I are roughly the same age and kind of have the same views on life and same values, and we just have a good time getting together and as friends and riding. And it was good to see him. Good weekend. We got up on that Friday morning. It was cold. It was, the weather was good. It was pretty cold. I'm glad I took this leather jacket with me and had some sweatshirts to put underneath, because in the mornings it was in the 40s and 50s and pretty cool. But that first Friday morning we took off from North Wilkesboro, went up Highway 16 to Marion, Virginia, took a little break, and the Back of the Dragon starts pretty closely right after that. And I've never ridden the Tail of the Dragon or any of these super twisty roads. I'm more of a Blue Ridge Parkway, Cherahalla Skyway, long sweeping curves, country roads like this kind of guy. And after my Back of the Dragon experience, I even feel that way even more so now. But if you watch Stoney's video he put out a couple of days ago, you can see that we got on the Back of the Dragon and weren't on it very long before we came up behind a truck that was painting stripes on the road, and we did almost the entire Back of the Dragon. It was like an hour and a half ride at about 10 miles an hour, and it was excruciating to say the least. But, other than that, there was another little incident there on the Back of the Dragon that Stoney didn't mention, out of respect for me. Thank you, Stoney, but I'm going to talk about it. And that was my little accident that I had on the Back of the Dragon, and it was really at the beginning of the ride. Again, we stopped in Marion and took a little break and stopped at a lookout fairly close to where the Dragon starts, and, I had my camera gear with me, so I turned it on and said, I'm going to record this video of me riding down the Back of the Dragon. This will be a great video to post. Not only great views, but just a great ride. And I actually started vlogging, and I probably vlogged for maybe 3 or 4 minutes and realized right away that this ride was going to take all of my attention. These curves and hills in the Back of the Dragon were so severe and so intense, I just quit talking, and I left the cameras on, but I just said, you know what, I can't do this. And it was almost like riding a roller coaster, it seemed like. And we were going downhill one portion, and Stoney was in front of me, and he'd already gone around this curve and did not see what happened to me. But I was going down a hill, and there was at the bottom of the hill, it was a hairpin curve. I mean a 180 degree curve back to the left, and I was riding fairly cautiously and slowly, and you know, braking the way I was supposed to be. But I don't really remember exactly what happened, but I did not negotiate that hairpin curve. And the next thing I knew, I was on the side of the road in a little ditch. And I mean, it happened in an instant. I was upright and riding, and the next minute I was over on my left side, pinned under my bike. Luckily for me, there was a nice gentleman following, you know, that was behind me, following me in a white pickup truck. He stopped, helped me get my bike upright, and made sure I was okay. And again, I did have my cameras recording. I had this camera that I'm using right now facing forward, and I had a camera right here on my handlebars, my Hero 7 Black, pointed back towards me, and they were both recording, or I thought they were both recording. I didn't really know till I got back home, and it was actually a couple of days before I decided to download the videos and actually watch this, because you know, I didn't really want to watch this accident, but I did. And when I downloaded the videos, the Hero 7 Black was on and recorded the accident from, you know, from this view looking back towards me, but the camera mounted on my helmet for whatever reason. I guess I thought I turned it on, but I didn't. And so I really don't have any audio or any, you know, rider's view of this accident. But I do have this little short clip from my Hero 7 Black that I'm going to show you here. And you can see, I'm just, you know, we're just going down the back of the drag, and you can see it's a hilly, curvy road. You probably see the white truck behind me. And then the next thing you know, I'm wrecked. So let's just take a quick look at it. And it's not the greatest video, but it's better than nothing. So here it is.
All right.
Yeah, let's gotta get the bike off of there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You all right? Did the rescue squad anything?
I don't know. Let me just. My buddy's right in front of me. I'll be back in a minute. Oh my goodness. So there you can see, I mean, within just a blink of an eye, I was riding, and then the next thing you know, I was on the side of the road. Kind of a recap of the damage. First to the bike. It bent back one of my driving lights down there on the left. I bent it back. Destroyed my left mirror. It was off. Scratched up my engine guard. And my left saddlebag is kind of scratched and torn. But other than that, you know, no real problems. The clutch lever was fine. The bike ran, you know, the next 2 days we rode was fine. We went to Tazewell, and the folks at Clinch Mountain Motorsports actually put a new mirror on for me. A couple of new mirrors on for me. They were black and they looked pretty cool, but on my way home on Sunday, the glass in the right mirror just came out. I guess it wasn't secured in there, and it flew out, and all of a sudden I happened to glance down at my mirror, and there was no mirror glass there. So I just ordered these replacement mirrors here from Suzuki and put these on. So the bike really was pretty, you know, not really damaged. I'm thankful for that. As far as the Georgia Rambler Man, bruised a couple of ribs, had a pretty good bruise on my rib cage. My left knee was, you know, like I said, I was pinned under the bike, my knee did scrape the pavement in the side of the road there, and I had a pretty big bruise on my knee, and it was very stiff and very sore for a couple of weeks. In fact, Stoney will tell you that I was gimping around pretty good for a couple of days. I mean, you know, Advil at night, what else are you going to do? I don't think I hurt it bad enough, you know, to go to the doctor and get it x-rayed. I was able to walk and move it, but it was very sore and very stiff, and that really kind of hindered me the next couple of days, but you know, it is what it is. You know, in my early 60s, I don't quite heal as fast as I did in my 20s. But I did have riding pants on with Kevlar lining. I had a leather jacket, full face helmet, leather gloves, boots. So I had no road rash whatsoever. My pants did not tear, and you know, my jacket was a little bit dirty from just being on the side of the road, but I, you know, survived it. And again, I probably wasn't going 15 or 20 miles an hour tops, but you know, you roll over on a 600-pound motorcycle going that fast and you're on your side, it's going to hurt, and it did. You know, what did I take away from that little accident? Well, you know, when you're riding those type of roads, I mean, you just have to be hyper vigilant and paying attention to what you're doing. And those hairpin curves, I mean, you just have to be so careful. And you know, I thought I was, you know, using the brakes like I should, but I just didn't quite make that curve. And in an instant, you know, I wrecked, and it was embarrassing. You know, Stoney finally came back and found me, and you know, when you do something like that, it's always you know, kind of embarrassing. I've wrecked a few times when I was a kid on dirt bikes. I mean, I was always, you know, wrecking those things, but it was usually in soft dirt. On a street bike once, a lady pulled out in front of me, and I had to kind of veer off into a grassed area and drop the bike and kind of tumble through the grass, and it didn't really hurt me too bad, but I was a young man in California at the time. And you know, since then, I really hadn't had anything. And you know, if you watched any of my vlogs from this past summer, you know that I almost had a little wreck on a mountain road close to where I live this summer, when a guy was kind of tailgating me and I was paying too much attention to him, and I got off on the shoulder, but luckily I got back on the pavement and didn't drop the bike then. But this back of the Dragon, you know, it didn't happen. I wasn't able to keep the bike upright and ended up dropping it. So then, you know, a banged up rib cage, a banged up knee, and a damaged pride a little bit. I was fine, and you know, over the past couple of weeks I haven't really ridden because my knee has been so sore. It's kind of hard to throw my leg over the bike, but it was a good day to get back out today, and I decided to do it. I wish the camera, you know, recording from my helmet would have been running. It'd have been interesting to see that, maybe not, but I don't think it would have really told me anything that I didn't already know. So, you know, that was it. It was still good to see Stoney, good to ride. I mean, the next few days my leg was sore, and I kind of had to stop and stretch it from time to time, and it was sore at night. But you know, it was great to see Bob and ride with the infamous NC Stoney, and it was also great to meet Mr. G 1965 up in Tazewell, Virginia. If you check out his channel, you'll see a little interview he did of me and Stoney when we were in Tazewell, and when we were at Clinch Mountain Motorsports, and they were kind of working on my bike a little bit. Mr. G 1965, he's got a great channel, great guy, and got to meet him, and that was really nice. So I'm going to give a shout out to Mr. G 1965, and who knows, maybe I'll even make his whiteboard. So that's about all for me. Hope everybody has a great Halloween. If you haven't voted, go out and vote. This is George, your Rambling Man. So long, everybody.